Minister for Justice, Honorable Siromi Turanga, Assistant Minister for Home Affairs, Permanent Secretary for Home Affairs, other Permanent Secretaries, Excellencies, members of the civil society organizations, heads of other statutory organizations, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Bulabinaka, namaste, and good morning to you all. Thank you very much, students, for your very thoughtful and important opening remarks. I wish you could speak a bit longer. Thank you. It is my pleasure, and in fact I'm very pleased to be here on behalf of the Minister for Home Affairs, who is away at the moment, to officiate at the launch of the National Counter Narcotics Strategy 2023 to 2028, and also to commemorate the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. At the outset, friends, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the coalition government, I want to acknowledge the partnership and the collaboration between the Fiji National University, Vodafone Fiji, Communications Fiji Limited, for organizing today's milestone event and the launch of the strategy. I know, and I also want to acknowledge the immense contributions and in fact continued support from all key international bilateral partners, CSOs, NGOs, academics, the Banua faith-based organizations, for your views and input throughout the discussions that we have been having since we came into government, and the consultation and your participation in drafting of the strategic document for Fiji. And I also want to thank all of you for coming today in supporting the government in commemorating the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. I think it's an important day. The illicit drug trafficking business has evolved dramatically over the years, and there is no denying that. Recently, Fiji has experienced a range of security challenges that have threatened the balance and the prosperity of our nation, ranging from both traditional, non-traditional security threats such as human trafficking, natural disasters, and of course COVID-19 pandemic that not only affected Fiji but swept through the globe. And these events have had serious economic, social, and political consequences for Fiji, and have created an environment that is conducive to criminality, including drug trafficking. These challenges have been exacerbated by the growing illicit drug business in the country. Illicit drug trafficking has become a major challenge for Fiji's national security as well. The drug trade in Fiji is actually driven by a combination of factors, including the country's strategic location in the Pacific. Sometimes it is poverty, corruption, unemployment, and others that you are all familiar with. Fiji also serves as a transit point for drug trafficking organizations that transport drugs from the Asian region to Australia and New Zealand, who are the key international markets for illicit drugs. The illicit drug trade in Fiji has also been fueled by our own growing drug addiction problem, which has led to an increase in drug-related crime and violence. The drug trade in Fiji as it does in any country, erodes the social fabric of our community, resulting in devastating impact on individuals and families who are affected by drug addiction and drug-related crimes. To confront this head-on, the coalition government, in consultation with relevant agencies, have developed the National Counter Illicit Narcotics Strategy 2023-28, which was approved by Cabinet last week, to counter these illicit activities within our EEZ, which is quite large. This strategic document lays out a whole-of-nation approach in this fight against illicit narcotics. And in my view, this is a very significant step for the country, consolidating all our efforts to address the drug problem in Fiji that we are currently experiencing. And the purpose of this 5-year strategy is to protect the health, safety, and security of our people, to promote development, and to prevent and reduce the social, economic, and environmental drug-related harm in Fiji now and in the future. This aspiration is addressed in the following key strategic pillars covered with the counter-narcotic strategy framework, and you've heard some of them already, and I want to repeat them again. 1, demand reduction, emphasizes prevention efforts targeting children, young people, and communities through evidence-based initiatives. 2, supply reduction. This is very important. Focuses on preventing and countering illicit drug activities to ensure safety and security. 3, harm reduction. Aims to provide treatment and recovery pathways while proactively reducing high-risk behaviors associated with drug use. And 4, legal reform, recommending reviews and enhancements to existing laws and mechanisms and as effective deterrents to the drug problem. I think this is also very urgent and needs to be done very, very quickly. The counter-narcotics strategy also details a comprehensive approach to addressing Fiji's drug-related challenges, emphasizing prevention, treatment, and collaboration across sectors. And it is only through effective implementation and continuous evaluation embedded in this strategy, Fiji intends to mitigate the adverse impact of illicit narcotics on our citizens and society. The strategy will be operationalized through a governance framework which comprises of the Counter-Narcotics Committee and Coordination and Steering Committee that reports directly to Cabinet through the National Security Council. More importantly, government agencies, the private sector, civil society organizations, NGOs, academic institutions will collaborate within this framework. The National Counter-Narcotics Action Plan is a living document operationalizing the strategy through actions by all agencies. The Coordinating and Steering Committee, comprised of relevant permanent secretaries, will monitor and be accountable to the implementation of these activities. Implementation of any plan or strategy would be crucial in the delivery of the outcomes that we intend out of this strategy. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I know today, 26 June, is commemorated every year as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. With this year's theme, the evidence is clear: invest in prevention. With a clarion call to raise awareness, advocate for investment, empower communities, facilitate dialogue and collaboration, promote evidence-based policy making, engage communities, empower youth, and promote international cooperation. I think that's very, very important from the point of view of addressing the supply. This is not only a call by the international community, but actually a call within the nation as well. Let us buffer our next generation of citizens with proactive awareness on the harmful effects of drugs within our communities, schools, within our families, churches, youth groups, villages, whether rural or maritime islands. We must ensure that our children, youth, and even adults are actively engaged in meaningful pursuits that steer them away from substance abuse and/or criminal schemes. The coalition government is absolutely committed to supporting key agencies in driving this awareness and preventative campaigns across the nation to combat illicit drug trafficking in Fiji. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I want to pay special tribute to the pioneers of the development of this strategic document. The late Mr. Georgie Wasigitoni, the Mukoro, and Mr. Anare Masitambua, who both invested the energy and time in the formulation of this critical and long overdue strategy document. Once again, I want to thank all our key international partners, because you are very important in this strategy. Without your support, without your help, the implementation of this strategy is going to be a challenge. So once again, I want to thank all our international partners who are present here, CSOs, NGOs. As part of our government's strategy, when we came into government last year, we made it very clear that the government cannot do some of these things alone. We have to work very closely, collaboratively with our NGOs, civil society organizations, the Vanua, academics have an important role to play. Your research and your advocacy on these matters are important. Relevant agencies for assisting the Fiji government in developing not only this national strategic document, and I hope that this collaboration from all of you will not end here. And I hope that it will continue and will result in strategic outcomes to counter this very, very serious problem that we are now facing. We must strive towards a united front to combat this scourge of drugs in our nation. And on that note, to mark this year's International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, it gives me much pleasure. And in fact, I'm very pleased. I said to the Honorable Minister when he was going away yesterday, I said, I'm very pleased to preside at this event, because this is something that is very, very important to me, not only as Minister of Finance, but also for the government, because the impact of drug abuse generally to the country and the economic cost is huge. So it is my great pleasure to officially launch Fiji's counter-narcotics strategy 2023 to 2028. Nakavakalevu, dhanyawad, and thank you very much.